Hello everybody, FAI here, or I here, and welcome to a start of a new video series. We're starting Sunless Skies, which was a, not really a sequel, but a definite direct game from, like, kind of a sequel from Sunless Seas, if you ever thought that, and of course also Fallen London. But yeah, with that having been said, yeah, we are going to be getting around into Sunless Skies and starting our playthrough of this game, where you are basically playing as a captain of a flying locomotive, aka like the one you see in the main the main story. So of course, you have a choice at the beginning to begin a new game with a legacy campaign or a merciful campaign. In a legacy campaign, if you die, you can only continue with a new captain. In a merciful campaign, if you die, you can reload or continue with a new captain. So it's up to you. If you want it a little bit easier, let's just say this is your first time playing the game or something, then I would suggest the merciful campaign. But of course, if you're like me, you're feeling like brave or ready to go into the unknown, go with the legacy campaign. Those are my choices. That's what I would suggest, but in this case, we're going to start with a legacy campaign. So, yeah, let's go ahead and get started with that. So, I'm just showing off here the legacy or the merciful campaign. It's up to you what you choose. We're going to choose legacy. And then we come down to difficulty. Difficulty, we have aiming assistance, enemy projectile speed, and of course supply consumption. All of these will help you in some way or another. In some cases, you'll have like aiming assistance, which is none right now. Only a few player weapons will, arc. Gentle mini player weapons will arc gently to targets, and aggressive or moderate weapons will aggressively target arc towards targets. And but we're going with none, which only a few player weapons will arc towards targets. Then we got enemy projectile speed here, which provides the default speed at standard, which means that it'll just be the standard firing rate for the enemy projectiles. And then, of course, we have the next one, which is going forward. I'll just show you. I'm showing you the standard here. And then you, of course, got the measured, which is enemy projectiles are somewhat slower, making it easier to avoid them. And, of course, enemy projectiles are unstately. Enemy projectiles are significantly lowered, making it easier to avoid them. This is up to you if you're deciding to be easy, medium, or hard, depending on if it's your first time playing. And then you got supply consumption. Supply consumption is all about fuel and supplies that are consumed. And at standard, they're consumed at the default rate, which will make survival much easier or much harder. There's thrifty, which fuel consumption lasts longer, making it easier to survive and prosper. And then you got proficient or provident, which is fuel supplies last much longer, making it super easy to survive. Again, it's up to you. If this is your first time playing, I would say make it easier if you want to. But in my case, we're going with the standard difficulty. We're just going to give it the college try of being a standard player. So, with that being said, let's get loaded, everybody. Let's load up and get started. So, log of Her Majesty's Locomotive, the Orphan, March 14th, 1905. Our expedition to the domains of the dead have been eventful. The Orphan is damaged and in gravest needs of repairs and supplies. We are returning in haste to the Reach. I hope to make port at New Winchester. May God be with us. For 1,000 deaths wait in the sky. Final entry of Captain Amelia Charity Whitlock, DCM, written shortly before death. Alright, so let's get started, shall we? Alright, so we got Failbetter Games, and this is made by Failbetter Games for anyone who wants to know. If you didn't know, yeah, Failbetter Games made this game. So, yeah, here we are. You're down to your last eggs of your supplies. The unpolished tins, the wormy biscuits. Man. As a sailor, you definitely don't want to be down to that, for sure. But yeah, the controls are the same. You've returned to the Reach, an untamed sunless span of the heavens, London's new frontier, a celestial garden run wild. So yeah. These are just the basic controls. We're controlling this locomotive right now. So yeah. Your journey back from the Blue Kingdom was tremendous. Your locomotive is damaged, and Captain Whitlock is badly wounded. That's not good. March 12th, 1905. That is not good. Or 16th, should I say. March 17th. As first officer, the crew looked to you. The nearest station is New Winchester. Can you get the orphan there safely? Yes. Can we get the orphan there to the safety of New Winchester? That is the quest here. We got some supplies here that we're going to scavenge. Much to the relief of your stokers, you find a barrel of fuel among the debris. And that is good. That means we'll have a little bit of extra fuel. And the Ozymandias. A wreck drifts here, less fortunate even than you. We should scavenge her for repairs. A crewman suggests. Here we are. The wreck of the Ozymandias. The wreck hangs in the sky, poked with recent gunfire. You and the boarding party don your sky suits, garments and of waxed canvas and lined with felt to protect against the cold sky. Two of the crewmen are whispering as they dress. What business did Captain Whitlock have in the Blue Kingdom anyway? Why the devil did we trespass on the districts of the dead? You silence them. Now's not the time. Leap across the wreck. The gap between the two engines isn't wide. But the endless phantoms of heaven gape beneath it. So yeah, we're going to have to leap across the wreck, I'd say here. Let's continue. Leading the way. You jump. Your stomach lunges with vertigo as the stars blaze above you and below. The air of the heavens is thin and torn by unpredictable winds. Then your boots hit the running board of the Ozymandias, and your leather gloves hands fumble for a hold. Once one of your companions throws you a line, and you lash the two engines together. Only then do the rest of the boarding party follow. One of them forces the open exterior and exterior hatch, and you clamber inside. So we gotta continue into the engine. Her interior is cold, unlit, and whistles with the wind. Your party lamps spring buttery light over the narrow, paneled passages. You make your way towards the hold. Stepping over bodies crumpled in the corner. Unfortunately, your way is blocked. A bulkhead has mangled inward by a well-aimed barrage. You can either clear the obstruction away. You locate a length of pipe to use as pry bar and set to work, or you can lead your party on a more precautious path. Go back onto the Ozymandias hole, climb past the backslash or the back cage and enter through a window on the far side, and do so carefully. It's up to you. One will test your veils, the other will test your will, or your iron will. So it's up to you. We're going to, in the end, lead the way through a more precautious path. A memory. The rest of your boarding party follow you without enthusiasm. You recall the first time you climbed outside an engine, helping the captain fix a leak in an exterior pipe. The wind had shrieked, buffeting at you. You asked the captain what would happen if you slipped. You fall, she answered, tearlessly. But where to, you asked. She looked down, then looked up, then back. The sky depths spiraled all about you. Away, she said, and you heard her fear. Back in the present, you tumble back into the Ozymandias through a shattered window. Your party spill in after you, glad to be back inside. Yes, let us continue, shall we? So, we're going to continue into the Ozymandias and hopefully find some supplies here. You reach the Ozymandias hold, a ruin of smashed cargo and spilled supplies. Hopefully, somewhere amidst the debris, you can find parts to repair the orphan and restock your stores. Conduct a thorough search. Your companions work quickly. The Ozymandias hull has begun to creak. Your actions on board may have compromised its integrity. Oh no, that's not good. Well, let's continue. Renewed. You find enough food and gear to restock your supplies and enough spare parts to make the necessary repairs to the orphan. The food will need to be thoroughly thawed, of course, but you've eaten worse in disguise. Oh! Cries one of your party, prying the lid of a long crate off a long crate. It holds a cannon, still nestled in straw. Another crewman pulls a battered birdcage from the pile of ruined cargo. Within the cage, something winged and furry opens a swollen eye. You examine your finds. So we now have some supplies and some hull. So yeah, that's what we gained. The Ozymandias emits a long, juddering creak. Your boarding party exchanged nervous glances. From the chaos of its hold, you have retrieved repairs and supplies and discovered some useful equipment. A gun that could be mounted on your locomotive and an educated back. Mount the Jerusalem cannon onto the orphan. Her own weapons were damaged during the fight. Your fight from the Blue Kingdom. This leaves you vulnerable. So we're going to grab the cannon, of course. Fire and Fury. The cuddled and half-sedged Jerusalem fires single shells at a good range. More or less accurately. You're two of your boarding party to get it back to your vessel and fit it immediately. The Ozymandias groans again. The structure shudders spasmodically. So we now have the colored and hazardous Jerusalem. Beautiful. We have our first weapon onto the train or our locomotive. So let's continue. So we already read that. Let's liberate a defined bat and employ it as a scout. The heavens are wide. Locomotives use the scout like bats to locate things. Intertwined ports, resources, wrecks like this one to scavenge. So we can we can claim the bat, and yeah, we can go ahead and get that. So let's get the bat. Eyes in the sky. The bat treats its rescue as an inconvenience and immediately begins haggling over pay. You offer to put it back in its damn cage and leave it on the Ozymandias, at which point it becomes more polite. You doubt it'll last. So we've acquired the defiant bat. Oh, that's bad. Alright, so now we can either press on to the engine room, and you might find more fuel there, but you had better hurry. The Ozymandias is beginning to tear apart, or you can return to the orphan. It's too dangerous to stay. It's up to you on what you decide to do. We're going to press on to try and get more fuel. The wreck of the Ozymandias screeches. Its metal buckles and tears. You press on the shuddering corridors, searching frantically for the engine room. We can either send a smaller party ahead to retrieve the fuel. It's foolish for all of you to go. Send your quickest and lightest to retrieve the fuel while the rest of you return to the orphan. Or we can go ourselves and conduct a hasty search. Send the rest of the boarding party back to the orphan. Go on alone. One will test your mirrors, the other will test your hearts. So it's up to you on how you decide to continue forward. Each one is about 50% chance. So we're going to decide to go ourselves. But of course it was a failure. Flight. The engine room is grayed with spilled ash and littered with corpses. Little has survived. The Ozymandias ruin, you search fruitlessly for coal, but you linger too long as the wreck is racked with a final violent tremors. You race back to the orphan. With a dying groan, the Ozymandias splits in two, sending shards of splintered plating spinning into the sky. Several of them bite into the orphan, mauling its hull. Stoking your engines, you steam away from the collapsing wreck. You are restocked and at least and renewed. So, yeah, the Ozymandias did give us a little bit of damage, but we're going to be pressing on here and continuing our search, hopefully, for new things. So we can send our bat as a scout to look for supplies or port. And, of course, we find a port nearby. Your bat, it's right there. Bat reports your thing, but we're summoned by Captain Whitlock. The walls of the captain's cabin are lined with bandage, hanged, hodgepodge of curious from across the sky. Captain Whitlock lies in bed. Black marks cover her skin like a monstrous brand. When she coughs, coils of acid smoke pour from her lungs. Inquire on the captain after her injuries. The locomotive's doctor attends to her. His lips are tight or approach the bedside. The captain opens her eyes as you draw near. She attempts to smile. We're going to approach her. Her mouth is blistered from the blue fires that dance on her tongue. Her hand grips your arms. Her skin is hot as the kettle. Make arrangements. The orphan will be yours. Her voice is just a rasp of burnt meat breath. But promise. She breaks off to scream a word in language that was not made for human mouths. When she resumes speaking English, she is weaker. But her request, little more than a grasp. Promise me one last service. So we can promise her, you can promise her you will obey her last command, whatever it is, you will see it done. You can make no promise, tell her the rest. She will need her strength. There's a hospital at New Winchester that can help her, or you can pull away. What if her condition is contagious? Demand to know, or you can demand to know why she took the orphan to the Blue Kingdom. We're going to go ahead and promise her to obey her last command, whatever it is. She sinks back, relieved. All in my will. She grasps. Be better. She breaks off as the singles burn into her bones, flare, glowing cherry red through her fire, flesh and skin. Better captain than I. Never exhausts her. She sinks back into the scorched pillows and a twisting frantic fever. So we gotta continue on. Unfortunately for us, we gotta continue on. So we already read that, and we're going to take our leave and head back to the engine room to command. Our business. You leave the cabin and the scorched stink of its air, and return to the bridge. New Winchester is further than you'd like, and the captain hasn't long left. So we gotta continue onwards. Alright, so we gotta remove the debris that we got with the cannon that we recently acquired, which, I mean, shouldn't be that hard, obviously. I'm almost certain you'll be able to do this pretty simply put, easily. It's not that hard to remove the debris. And oh, look, we just got our first Marauder, which means that we have our first fight going on. And you're going to see me, from time to time dodging, and you're probably going to wonder, how the heck does that dodge help you? Well, it's a way to avoid the cannon fire. Now, of course, using the dodge does use up fuel, so yeah. Anyway, the Marauder is defeated. You reach the buckled wreckage of the promised plunderers. Behind you, someone is humming a song of victory. Raid the remains. Marauders pillage homesteads and local travelers across the reach. They often carry stolen supplies or strip it for repair. Scavenge the Marauders' plate and components to repair the damaged orphan. We're going to remake the remains. Ill-got gains. Your boarding party returns with wallets and wallets of cufflinks and lockets and keepsakes. You stow them in the safe to be pawned when, if you make it back to port. We have gained 26 sovereigns, which is the money of this game. At least one of the ways to gain money, and it's the main source of money to use in this game. But yeah, moving on. Let's continue into New Winchester, which is not that far away, hopefully. And here we are. March 19th. The taste of smog, the sound of iron. On iron, we are home. So we made it to New Winchester. A new port. The crew is eager to see what it has to offer. March 19th, 1905. So here we are, docking at New Winchester. The first of many docks that we will be going to. Arrival at New Winchester. You coast into the bustle, the din, the scoot, and the steam of Wolvesey Station. It's clogged with our engines as scrappy mining locomotives from Lustrum Way, weathered explorers gleaming with frost, sleek company vessels with bright brass fittings. No sooner have you pulled into the slidings of the brusky station master bustles over. He requests to come aboard. I must speak with your captain. He insists, brandishing a ledger. The usual formalities. Look to the orphan's doctor. He has just appeared at your shoulder. His face solemn. His hat is in his hands. He lowers his eyes. That doesn't sound good, does it? So what happened? Let's see. Well, let's see what happened here. We're going to look to the orphan's doctor. The passing. The crew exchange bleak, wordless looks. The orphan itself feels suddenly more empty. The station master looks confused. You inform him that, unfortunately, Captain Whitlock has just passed. Ah, he says, neutrally. Sorry to hear that. Very sad. Very sad. He waits for what he considers an appropriate minute and a half before continuing. Alas, even in this tragedy, the cogs of bureaucracy must turn. If Captain Whitlock is deceased, the station authority require the answers from the first officer. He dons a set of spectacles and locates his pen. It will be relatively painless. Name, background, purpose of visit, and etc. Shall we begin? Ah, yes, we shall begin. And of course, the first officer at this point is us. So let's continue. And here we are creating our captain, the very first of many choices that we will be making. We could either be a street urchin, a soldier, a poet, an academic. I will go over each of the skills and, the uses for them in time and as we continue. But let's just go over the classes for now. So a street urchin, a soldier, a poet, an academic, a priest, a sailor, a military officer, or a revolutionary. All of these have different skills that will start you off and different things that can help you with your affiliation. So a street urchin is basically you start with high veils and a skill of evading and deceiving. It's up to you. You also will gain an affiliation with villainy, if I remember correctly. A soldier, you will begin with a high iron skill and confronting and overcoming, which probably will mean more damage for you in fights. A poet, which you will begin with high hearts and skill of convincing and enduring. An academic, which you will begin with high mirrors. A priest, which you will begin with high hearts and convincing and enduring. A sailor, which again is higher on skill. It's the same as a soldier in many ways. A ministry offer, which you will begin with high mirrors. You can also, which is in investigating and deducing. Or a revolutionary, which again allows you to start with high veils. In my case, we're going to start as an academic, which I think is a pretty good place to start as far as mirrors go. Now, we can have a secondary, which is Iron Will, which is the practical sciences. The language of the heavens, which is an increase to your hearts, or literature, which is an increase to your veils. In my opinion, mirrors and veils have seemed to be the two most, if not the two best overall skills in my opinion. So, it's up to you on how you want to use it. You could maybe find a good use for Iron Will. You probably might find a good use for hearts, but in my opinion, literature or veils and mirrors seem to be the best two choices in my personal opinion. So, yeah. With that having been said, it's up to you. But in my case, like I said, literature or mirrors and veils seem to be the two best skills in my opinion. And then we got our ambition. What ambition do we have? Are we going to try to go for being wealthy? Are we going to try to go for being known and famous? Or are we going to look for the truth? The truth is one of the hardest, of course, choices and one of the hardest adventures to complete in this ambition. It's the hardest ambition according to the game. So unless you've completed fame or wealth before, then the truth probably wouldn't be the best choice for a beginner. So we're going, fame, of course, is just you're going to write stories about your adventures and stuff and become very well known, if not very famous. And wealth, of course, being you become a substantial holder of money. You'll have a lot of money. You're going to be able to, continue on to the next captain with a lot of wealth and a lot of startup. So it's up to you. Now we're going to create our captain, and this is going to be a fairly easy process. So what I'm going to probably do is I'm going to leave you with nothing more than links here, just so that you can enjoy seeing me create the captain, and then we'll continue the story when that happens. So yeah, I will meet you guys back, or meet you all back when I'm done creating our captain here. Alright then, so we have created our captain. Here is our captain. We were an academic, we have literature, where our ambition is wealth. We have 25 mirrors at the start and 17 veils at the start. So, those are our starting stats, and they will come into play as we continue the game. Anyway, let's get started. The reading of the will. So, this is the reading of the will. 3 weeks have passed. This morning, Captain Whitlock received a simple memorial service. Her body as coincided to an apocalypse train for the serene mausoleum. Now you sit with a handful of her relatives in the threadbare offices of her solicitors. A mythological not Ari is reading the will. Captain Winchester was wealthy once, but squandered her capital on mysterious expenses before her expedition to the Blue Kingdom. We're going to listen to the end. The captain relatives, from whom she mostly entangled with, are clearly wondering why you are here. Why are we here? That is a good question, according to her relatives. Anyway, let's listen to the end. True to her word, in final conduct, the Northory announces, Captain Whitlock confirmed that possession of the orphan was to pass to its first officer. He peers at you with dry, gray eyes. This includes a certain black box contained in the orphan's hold. Captain Whitlock's final request was that, at the time of your choosing, you transport said box to an address in London. He hands you an address card and deposit it there. You are not to look inside. She gave no explanation. And that's it. You're captain now. The orphan is yours. So we've started Captain Whitlock's legacy. We can investigate the black box in New Winchester. You could take it to London as requested, or you could sell it and be done with it. You have bequeathed a large black box, which once belonged to Captain Whitlock, and we also acquired some sovereignties. So, here we are at Wolvesey Station, the clamoring central station of New Winchester. A place of steam and smut and thundering iron. Here you can find people willing to pay for a skilled captain's service. So we can go ahead and explore the city. The smoggy, clanking, singing, tramping, throngling, frantic heart of the Reach. Also, we're looking at the officers here. We can recruit the incautious driver. I specialize in test driving, but I'm looking for something more quieter. or we can talk to an opportunity at the fast station inspector. So we're going to start here by repairing our locomotive. The engineers at Wolvesey Station claim they can repair anything, whether it be the damage was caused by unfortunate collision, a point-blank salvo, or the charge of a country condiment. They will fix it. So we're going to have our hull partially repaired because we don't need a fully repair right now or spend the money on a full repair. So we're going to go ahead and continue into this story. It'll have to do. You find yourself time amidst. Yeah, we're going this. We've already read that, but I think, yeah, we've already read that. I think so. We're going to go ahead and. The smoggy, clanking, singing, scampling, fondly frantic heart of the reach, an ever-expanding port of smudge-stained smudged glass, and her bright steel, sprawling across the drifting, mist-wrapped archipelago. Its factories thunder, its engines shred, ring with hammers, and hiss with steam. Locomotives chug into the slidings for repair or flare across the sky and away to a high wilderness. An opportunity. So we're going to learn about opportunity, learn about the trading. Successful skyfarers fund their expeditions by dabbling in trade. Inquire whether there's any good trading opportunities available. So yeah, we're going to inquire about that. On the pedal trail, a porter at the station advises you to visit the nearby pub, the Promise of Days, and talk to the season captains there. They keep their ears to the ground. They know an opportunity or two. So we're going to go to a train, learn about the train opportunity. Now, of course, we already read about that, so let's go ahead and visit the Promise of the Days. A club where seasoned captains gather to trade their stories and share advice with younger skyfarers. Old pistons gleam on the walls. The shelves are crowded with mementos from across the skies. The clientele raise their voices to be heard above the confronting clamor of the adjacent engineers. So you find yourself, you may find helpful advice here. Let's go ahead and introduce ourselves to this seasoned captain, shall we? They're always willing to offer words of advice, sometimes many words. So yeah, let's go ahead and talk to the seasoned captains. Instructions. Four are gathered at their usual table. The masked citizen, a literate, polymorph, and pioneer of the non-cultural artistic school. The bedeviled detective, a sculptor haunted by his discoveries. The plucky baroness, explorer, collector, pillarist, and splashcracker. Meg, who hunts monsters. Of course, everything here is jolly dangerous, says the baroness. Few risk the skies, so news of distant ports is valuable. Collect port reports from places you visit and deliver them to Victory Hall or Company House. The more you turn in at once, the more they'll pay. Look for other opportunities, advises the masked citizens. Passengers who want transport, rich men who in need of bloody work, and etc. So, yeah, a few good instructions there, but let's continue, shall we? Alright, so we've already read that, so let's ask them how to make your fortune through the trade. Between them, they carried narrative gemstones from inferiority souls to the Blue Kingdom and raw hours to London. Have they any tips? Let's ask them. Ah, the detective says, fiddling his instrumental talismans, and essential to the topic. Meg slides you a stool. All the captains shuffle around to make room. The masked citizen buys you a drink of their own invention. It's violent and foggy. The plucky baroness gives you a brisk, encouraging grin. Ask away. Ask about the markets. Let's see how we can buy and sell goods. Fundamentals. You can sell practically anything at the big trade hub, like New Winchester. The Baroness answers. If you buy, though, you'll need to travel to more distant ports. Each specializes in a particular export. Meg spits chewing tobacco on the floor. No money in buying at market prices and selling at them too, though. You want to look for bargains or prospects. People offering better money. Buy cheap, sell dear. So yeah, we're learning about bargaining and stuff and getting the fundamentals for the offer of the trade. So let's go ahead and continue. Let's go ahead and ask about the prospects, shall we? We already asked about the markets, and I don't know why I accidentally re-clicked there. But we're going to ask about the prospects here. Where might these opportunities, you learn of these opportunities? Prospects. The mass citizens sips their drink. The biggest port in each region has a bazaar where captains do business. There you'll learn of people at outer ports prepared to pay over the odds for a commodity. When you accept the commission for a prospect, it's yours. No other captain will pursue it. It's all fantastically civilized. Their smile is droll. You'll have to, of course, suss the goods yourself, of course, says the Devil Dickrick. Find exports, and the client will want a certain amount you can supply, some or all of it. But if you provide all they need, they will flourish you with an additional reward. So, yeah. And I'm stuttering because he does stutter a little bit, just so everyone knows. Anyway, let's go ahead and ask about a trading opportunity. Ask them if they know of a good prospect available. In fact, I do, says the masked citizen, tapping an elegant finger on their elegant glass. So let's ask the masked citizen what he knows. Shall we? So, continuing to ask the masked citizen, an opportunity. The host, Magnadel's, needs an urgent delivery of seeds, paying a pretty penny too. If I were you, I'd get to the bazaar straight away, put my mark against it. Meg grunts. Broker in Port Avalon is selling cheap seeds. Chirpy chap, God knows why. His face looks like it's been pushed through a mangle. An opportunity. Port Avalon lies west-northwest of New Winchester, and Magdalene lies southeast of New Winchester. Accept the prospect from the bazaar if you haven't already, then buy the seeds from the bazaar at Port Avalon and sell them to Magdalene's. Ah, yes. A good opportunity there. Thank you for telling us. So let's ask about bargains. Where can we buy goods cheaply? So let's ask them about this. Bargains. Splotchcocker. Meg wipes beer foam from her lip. Nowhere this busy. Deals are snapped up too fast here. Visit bazaars at quieter ports. Can find all sorts limited supply, mind. A bargain won't hang around forever, though, the Baroness confides. Says, steadfasting, ignoring Meg's manners. So don't hang around if you're space in your hold. Snap them up. You can always sell them at major port for an adequate return. So we can learn about finding bargains at minor ports and then selling them back here at New Winchester. That's good to know. Thank you for telling us. So let's go ahead and ask how to expand the prospects and bargains available to you. How to put this delicately? Is there perhaps a way a resourceful captain could prejudge circumstances in their favor? Nipty tis them. Meg laughs. A noise that like a sneeze crossed with a ricochet. It ain't who you is, it's who you know. In it, Nipsy's tism. She taps her broken nose. Quite, the masked citizen remarks. The wider your circles, the more advantages the opportunities will present themselves. A wise captain makes the most of them. Thank you, masked citizen, for telling us about this. As well as Meg talking about this a little bit too. I mean, it helps. So we're learning more about how to get our affiliations up with academics, villainy, or the bulimia, and stuff like that, which will come into play later on. Anyway, let's bid them goodbye. Other business. They bid you assorted variations of goodbye, and as you leave, the smoke and hubble-blub of the promise. So, yeah, let's go ahead and, I guess, recruit the incautious driver, shall we? Or we could explore the city, or we can investigate the black box. So, we also have an opportunity for the fastatious inspector to be talked about, but I believe we're going to recruit the incautious driver. I specialize in test driving, but I'm looking for something quieter, the driver indicates, as a crashed engine still smoking. Like that, without the screaming. So we can allow the driver to join your crew. What harm can it do? This will give us a chief engineer, which will increase our iron will by 6 and our hearts by 2, and affiliation with the establishment by 1. So, yeah, you're brave or foolish. I'm sorry I didn't get to read that. I clicked that a little too quickly. But let's go ahead and talk about the opportunity. An opportunity with the vastatious inspector. Excuse me, Captain. A woman pushes through the crowds towards you. She's short and square-shouldered, in a neat black suit and polished shoes. She shows you the case of her pocket watch. It is embossed with the crown and hourglass of London of the horological office. The body responsible for ensuring the time is consent across the empire. I am hoping to book passage to Port Prosper, she says, slipping the watch away. I can, of course, offer her passage. Pay sounds promising. Or we can decline and we're unavailable at the moment. Of course, we're going to offer her passage. Thank you. The locomotive I was on broke down following a boiler rupture. The chief engineer's fault, I suspect. A gentleman fonder of brandy than diligence. Here, an initial sum of our bargain. Why, thank you. Prosper lies to the southeast of New Winchester. Not that there is such a thing as north, southeast, and or intended west out here. Instead, London chronographers pick the 4 of the brighter stars and most reliable stars visible to the Empress New Palace, named up north, east, south, and west. Londoners value familiarity. So yeah, we got the driver or the inspector who we will be transporting, and we gain some sovereignties, which is also good. So, onwards then. And I'm not sure if we do the inspection of the black box here. I think this is where we pretty much call that. But before we do continue our journey, I wanted to show you the map and give you an idea of how the map is laid out. So, this is the map of New Winchester, or the reach that we are on right now. So, when you're looking at the map, if you're new to the game, then north is always going to be up. So, if you're going up, you're going north. If you're going down, you're going south. If you're going left, you're going west. If you're going right, you're going east. So I just wanted to show you guys that, just so that you know exactly your sense of direction and know where you're going. But I think that's where we're going to call it here for today's video. So thank you everybody for joining me on this longer episode and more of a narrative gameplay than anything. But with that being said, thank you everybody for joining me today on this video. Thank you for watching this video. If you like this video, you know what to do. Hit the like button, get subscribed, hit the bell notification, because I know you want to know when my next video drops next. Thank you everybody for joining me today on this video. Thank you for watching this video. I am live on Twitch at www.twitch.tv/FA_EYE or I. I am live on Wednesday, Thursday, and Saturday for sure. Wednesday and Saturdays usually are about 4 to 5 hour streams, sometimes a little bit longer. Thursdays are usually about 2 to 3 hour stream most of the time. And Monday and Tuesday are usually also about a 2 to 3 hour stream, which is also when I'm live. But with that being said, thank you everybody for joining me today on this video. Thank you for watching this video. Thank you for stopping by. Thank you for hanging out. And thank you for being part of this video. And yeah, until the next one, everybody, wherever you live in the world, this is thank you for watching. Thank you for joining me. And until the next one, everybody, like I said, this is FAI or I signing out and saying farewell, everyone.